It has to. I mean, also there the calendar is made its way, and we as coaches, we have to take it the way it is. If we get 1 or 2 more games, we are happy. But if not, it's the way it is, you know, for the other teams as well. Now, do we have all the options to choose who we want to play in October? No, we never had all these options because all the European teams are booked into the Euro qualifiers. CONMEBOL started their qualifiers into that. So the global calendar is very difficult for fans to understand. So sometimes we have to take whoever wants to play us. You know, it's not that we have 10 teams from Brazil, Argentina, France, Germany to choose from. We have to take teams just to get our games and also develop them towards the Asian Cup. And I'm happy now with first time ever. Now I face with Saudi Arabia, an Asian nation. We played 4 very, or 3 very difficult South American teams, you know, which is they could beat any team in the world, literally. I was upset with El Salvador because we should have beaten them 4-5-1. That made me upset. But now we tied a European team that was also in the World Cup, you know, and in Wales. So now we get the opportunity with Saudi Arabia, which is now my first experience with an Asian team as a coach. And then we prepare step by step. But every game now we are together, every little camp we are together, we know more about the players, we know more about, you know, how people look at things, and obviously then with every game we feel more comfortable about what we're doing. Well, there's the wish list of a coach, you know, how, you know, a team in his own kind of philosophy would love to play. That's a wish, you know. I was a forward and I love attacking-minded football. If I love to watch a team with high pressure and high energy and high tempo, it's Liverpool, you know, which I adore, absolutely. But a national team coach has the job to create the best way of playing his team based on the strengths of his players. So I have to come in and I have to analyze the strengths and weaknesses of my players and build the best way possible a team that will be successful in the Asian Cup. So would I love to attack all the time? Yeah, because I was an attacker. But I also need to understand where are our strengths and where are our weaknesses. You know, I think the way we laid it out now already in the first couple of games is very attacking-minded. You know, because, you know, I try to play at least with 4 attacking players up front. Most of the coaches play 2 or 3, not 4. I played now 4 even away from home. But I still need to find then always the pieces together where, you know, the defensive pieces have to fit the attacking pieces. You know, who covers who when you have to defend, who helps who, and when we attack, who has which qualities, you know, to go and break through and score goals. Obviously, we know all Sonny and his qualities, and you want Sonny always in a position where he gets close to goal in order to score goals, you know. And the same with a center forward, if it's Joe or if it's Uijo or if it's O, you know, that doesn't matter. You want them to get in the positions where they can score goals, you know. And then you have the wingers. We're very excited, obviously, about the development of Kangin, but he was now injured first, and now he hopefully goes to the Asian Games and wins them, you know, for him and the entire team. And so you create a team based on their strengths, and you see it then, and then you put the pieces together as a national team coach. You know, I do not have the option to buy new players or sell and buy, you know. So in the club environment, the club coach can say, you know what, you follow my philosophy. I'm Pep Guardiola and you follow my philosophy. But then I buy the players that fit my ideal picture of how I want to play football. Fantastic, you know. So in the club coach, step by step, you create that team based on your philosophy. As a national team coach, I have to create a style that is built on their strengths and is built on the players that we have. So the Korean players that we have, I have to build that style that makes them hopefully, and I'm totally convinced about that, successful, But I cannot say I have this philosophy and they have to adapt to my philosophy. That would be wrong. It would be wrong. So a national team coach is always in a different situation than a club coach. When you bring a younger player into the A national team, in order maybe to give him a few minutes or give him experience, here and there you have to make maybe a compromise. He plays one slightly position next to the position he plays in the club. Ideally, you play him exactly in the same position, as in this club team, if it's ideal. Let's say if you take Seoul from Ulsan, if I get in the situation and Kije gets injured because Jinsu got injured, maybe I have to ask him, instead of playing right back, like Mungbo plays him too, I play him left back then. There are moments you have to kind of compromise a little, but not much. Usually you utilize the player in his best position possible. Now Sonny can score from left, he can score from right, he can come through the middle. I think the idea having 3 attacking midfielders and 1 striker in the front of it is, for example, 1 striker, I love to have at least 1 forward that holds the 2 center backs and is always present. But then I want to give freedom to players. I want to give freedom to players to create themselves opportunities or to gather the opportunities, and they can switch roles. So I can have Ijan left, I can have Juisung right, I can have Kangin left, right, middle, no problem. I can have Sonny left, no problem. The discipline in modern football is whenever you lose the ball, then you got to drop back as an entire unit. So the players have to learn, and they learn that also in their club teams, is if Sonny loses the ball on the right wing, he has to drop into the right midfield position. If Kangin loses the ball in the middle, then he drops and takes the number 6 from the other team and stuff. So those are all the tactical principles that are taught mainly by the club teams already, and we tell them those principles again. So for me, it's important that they have the freedom and the mind to go and to try, that they are courageous. Go and try, and if you lose the ball, no problem. Drop back and we all together defend again and we win back the ball. If it's in a lower block or in a middle block, no problem. Those are the principles I really encourage, because for me football is important that the players express themselves. Show me your personality. Show me the personality on the field and also off the field. It's fine. They're young people. They are encouraged to try things out, and I also encourage them, and that's maybe not Korean. I try to encourage them, make mistakes. It's okay. Because if you don't make mistakes, you never learn. So I say, what, you go 1 against 1, Kangin, and you lose the ball, it's okay. But then drop back, help, defense, it's okay. Because I can only improve players and a team if you go through making mistake periods, that things don't work out, then only the team will grow. Otherwise the team will stay same level. Then there's no growth. And growth, improvement only comes with pain. It only comes with pain. So you will make mistakes, and I want them to try things out. I want them to show more personality. Everywhere in the world, people say they love Korea, they love Koreans, your culture, your personality, but they always say also, but they're very kind of, they fear to fail. They don't want to risk. But in football, you have to risk. If you want more. If you don't want more, then you play no risk and you play for a tie, okay. But if you want more, and I came to KFA and I said, I want more than in Qatar, more than in Qatar. So I will take some risks. Maybe you discuss if I chose the right player or the wrong player. The fan will discuss right player, wrong player. Every fan wants a different player, and that's okay. So maybe you discuss Klinsmann has to be more in Korea or more in Europe or more in America, whatever. It's okay. Discuss it, no problem. But I have to do it differently than the people did it before. If I do it the same way as the people before me at KFA, there will be no improvement. Then you have a Korean Klinsmann, but he's not Klinsmann anymore. So the only way for me to improve this team and this program is when I come to Europe, say hello. When I talk to people all day long. When I come to Korea, go in and out, in and out. That's the only way I can improve what goes on. If not, then it's better somebody else, no problem. But I know that I get this team very, very focused into the Asian Cup in Qatar. I know this. But on this path, there will be some hiccups. There will be some moments and critique comes, normal. Maybe a defeat comes, normal. But what matters is when we go into the tournament. No, I think, obviously it will take time for especially now new players get slowly integrated. Everybody knows what the other one will do. So the fine-tuning will come in Asia, in Qatar. The fine-tuning right in the first week probably we go to the United Arab Emirates for 8 days, 10 days training. That's when these elements will come. The other thing is you play in the very beginning of the European season, and when they come now and they look at all these friendly games throughout 2023 friendlies until obviously we hit then November with World Cup qualifier, players' mindset is not at 2000%. They're coming here with the mindset, okay, we do changes, a few new players, and it's, as you can see also the response from fans, you go and normally Wales is sold out every game. If it's a Euro qualifier or World Cup, there were 13,000 people and so there's not the same level of drama and of intensity as you would see if it's a World Cup qualifier or a tournament, the Asian Cup tournament. So from the players' perspective, the European players just getting started now. Sonic is just getting started, our other ones getting started, and from the K-League players, they come in and they have a long trip and they see how it works. My wish was, as I said in the beginning, that we create a bit more chances, more determination, more moments just to pull the trigger, shoot, when they still did one or two movements, like Ichan had a situation, like Hong had a situation where he had to shoot second half. But this is the mindset, because they are not as right there, with all the high intensity in their brains as they would be if it would be now a different game. That's also normal. And you see that in all the other teams too. Absolutely. Absolutely. And we do that. We do that, we say it. Why didn't you do it? Go. And you encourage. And then also, but that's also the encouragement. You say, see, you had the opportunity there, you didn't. But this is what I mean, I don't do it because I don't want to risk of maybe kicking the ball high, or whatever. So then he doesn't shoot. And then you tell him, shoot. Don't wait. And if you miss, no problem. So this is the encouragement that we try to do every time now, coming together and take the risk, no problem, I rather, I see you shoot and the ball goes somewhere else, then you say, oh no, I pass again. Don't pass again. As close as you come to the box, you gotta finish off. And this is a mindset topic. And you're absolutely right. The coach has to encourage that, which we do. I think it's important for the young players, and that's why I always like to work also with a lot of young players and bring them through, is to make them understand that they are responsible for their own lives. They are responsible for their own careers, and they have to come out of their shell. You have to become strong in your personality in football if you want to become a starter. If you go to Europe, you want to become a starter in Europe, which is a risk. And that's already step number one, that they take the risk. Or even also in the K-League, in every team, a younger player comes up. He has to show personality to say, I'm so confident that I get my starting position. I think Sol is a good example at Ulsan. He's a good example. Sometimes he's on the edge of having too much confidence, but he has confidence. And that's why he's now our right back in such a short period of time, because he comes and he's not scared. Well, he comes and he shows his personality. And this is very important for all the young players. Doing the next step is take responsibility for yourself and just show personality. Do you want the ball? Go and get the ball. If you go against one, be aggressive, and risk yellow cards. Sometimes I have the feeling that we don't want to risk yellow cards. But yellow cards is part of the games. It's normal. I don't mind if you get 5, 6, 7, 8 yellow cards. Who cares? As long as it's not a red card, then it may be a problem. But so that means aggressiveness. So aggressiveness, personality is very, very important in the development of young players. And they need to understand that if they want to break through on international level. I think that quality of the team is there to win the Asian Cup. It's long overdue for Korea. That means the most important thing to win a competition like an Asian Cup or like European Championship or like a World Cup is hunger. But hunger with a lot of aggressiveness, with determination, with personality. So a tournament is 90% mental. Because we get everybody on the field, playing-wise, fitness-wise, in top shape. No problem. This I can, plan, I can execute. This is what we can follow and you can follow every day, and with all the technology, with all the data, with all the medical treatment, all those things, those are day by day normal things, But to win a tournament, you need to have your leaders. And now leaders, we talk about Sonny, we talk about Min Jae, we talk about Jae-sung, maybe any Jan, where they have to be in their past in bomb and so on, that they decide for themselves that they want to win this thing from the first day on, And I won a European Championship. We were not the best team with Germany in 1996 here in England, but we were the hungriest. And that's why we won it. And other teams were better than us, Italy, Holland, France, but no problem. So it goes back, that discussion of a tournament team becomes a cultural discussion. How badly do you want it? Are we doing it differently than we did before? Because when you do it the same way as you did things before, you will not get better. If you do it the same way as Paulo Pentola, as anybody else before me, if I do it like they did it, not getting better. It just stays the same way or maybe goes down. So we have to do it differently. And that's what I will do. And if the team develops this hunger through their leaders, if they take the responsibility to say, I'm going to go to Qatar only for one reason, is to win the tournament, then I think we have a good chance. I know they're very good teams. I know Japan is a very good team. I see them too many times. They beat Germany in the World Cup. But we can beat them. We absolutely can beat them. And this is what this belief, this attitude, this environment, this is the main job of a national team coach. But I don't have the players every day, and if I don't have them, I have to see where are they. And if they're in Europe, or if they're in Korea, or if they're where else, then I have to be there, and not where maybe the fan wants me to be. But I understand the fan. Don't get me wrong. I don't criticize anyone. Yeah.
Well,
the 1994 World Cup game, that I played was an eye-opener for us Germans with the Korean team, because the Korean team had a resilience. They had they were not only good with a lot of good players, but the way they came back in this game, I always say today, the game goes 5 minutes longer, Korea scores the third goal. Absolutely. So they gave us a lesson, even if we won the game, but they gave us a lesson. They gave us a cultural lesson, and this resilience that they showed there, this hunger and this determination, combined with the quality of our players, Min-jae and Sonny and all the, if you have that resilience in Qatar, that's what I mean. I think that's actually the best example then, then I'm very confident. But you need this high level of being able to go through difficulties and to suffer and to be resilient and to want it more than the opponent. Example yesterday, for example, Costa Rica wanted it more than Saudi Arabia. Even Saudi Arabia came back, scored 2-1, and you thought, oh, maybe 2-2, And then Costa Rica decided, no, we're gonna win this game. And they were biting them in every little area on the field. They were nasty, they were always physical. And then they stole the ball at their 18-yard box in the last minute. Two players were running like, and chasing them, and then they scored the third. And I said to there up in the stand, I said, listen, the difference was they wanted it more. Not that they're better, they wanted it more. And this is a cultural element that we have to always communicate to the team. Every time we get together, I will say that. So I have to give more responsibility to the players, because it has to come from inside. It's not coming, the coach says it, but it has to come from inside, from the player. To how hungry are you? How hungry are you to win in Qatar, this tournament? That hunger, if you can use it or not, no problem. The hunger of a generation of players in a country determines how far they will go. Germany developed the hunger in a couple of World Cups, and then they dropped. The hunger was gone for maybe 6, 8, or 10 years. Then it comes back. It will come back within societies of certain countries. So that hunger is driven by the people of the country. The hunger is driven by the team itself. That one generation of players decides, this is us now. This is our time. Like Zidane did with France, like Matthäus did with us. Said, this is our World Cup. We're gonna win this World Cup, And so did the Korean team in 2002. They said they were so resilient. They were so hungry. Said, Gus Hiddink pushed and did things. But it has to come from the inside. So the hunger has to come from Min-jae, from Sonny, from Dae-sung, from In-bom, from Ijan, from all of the players. That extreme hunger to go in there. And football is a physical game. It's a fighting game. It's not, you have to look at every winning team in competition. How many fouls, how many yellow cards, how many every team that won the high competitions, were very physical. This is something that we want to communicate every time we see them, and then see how they take it and how their mind will accept it and hopefully execute it then.
정리되겠다 지금.
네, 시즌이니까
그럼 일단 제 마지막 질문은
Last question, coach.